You're listening to TechRecruit, a podcast that educates talent acquisition and recruitment professionals on innovation to attract talent across all industries. We're glad you're here. Welcome to TechRecruit, the podcast for recruiters. Today we have Mr. David Nicola, who is the technical sourcing recruiter for Amazon. Welcome, David.
Hi, Stacey. Thank you for having me.
You are so very welcome. Thanks for making time to be here with us. So tell me a little bit about your job at Amazon.
I'm part of the Prime Video and Studios team. So essentially we are finding engineers and developers on the back end that power what you see on their front end as consumers. So essentially I'm looking for folks that can build things and create things and are smarter than me to do the things that I can, pretty much. So, but we've got a huge team. Obviously, Amazon's a global e-commerce giant. We have a lot of great products coming out and currently that we are always building for and looking to enhance our customer experience.
You posted a video of your first week there and you're walking around down in Seattle when you're doing your training. And for me, I couldn't help when I was watching it, being excited. Like I felt like I was part of your experience. So that was really neat that you posted that. Do you still have that sort of energetic, like, yeah, this is awesome?
Yeah, definitely. And it starts, I think, with the culture and the people you're working with and your teammates. But yeah, that was something fun. I love Seattle. It's a great place to visit. You got some fun activities and some cool stuff going on up there. But Amazon itself, they've got, I think I said they have upwards of almost, maybe a little bit more than 30 actual buildings.
Wow.
Downtown. So there's 30 different buildings. So, and they're building more, not just for Amazon, but for a lot of other companies and organizations up there as well. So downtown is already pretty packed. And from what I'm hearing from the coworkers that are there, the infrastructure is kind of suffering a little bit because you're building all this, business and building all these buildings, and that's great. But there are literally only, I think, 2 freeway exits to downtown. So traffic it's a nightmare. So it can be insane.
So you're working from home.
Yes, I'm working remotely. I should have mentioned that. Yes, I've been remote for about 6 years, and I'm fortunate to be remote in this role too. And I'll still go up to Seattle or Santa Monica perhaps to see my teams there. But I'm very fortunate to be able to work from home. So yes, no traffic. Don't like traffic. I have traffic from my kitchen to my office. That's pretty much I have to look out for.
To get your coffee.
Yes, exactly.
Coffee. I have a question. You don't have to answer this. It's about your workload at Amazon. How many recs are you managing?
Right now it's pretty small because I'm still ramping up. But on paper, I have less than 10. But that's just for right now. Another probably, once I hit my 3-month mark or 6-month mark, I expect to have a full load, which really, yeah, well, I expect it to go up, which is normal. But really just depends on the team you're supporting, depends on the hiring manager's needs. There's a lot of variables as far as what different rec loads look like to different people. But realistically, as an industry, I mean, I don't think at some point, it just doesn't become humanly possible to support a rec load of like 40, 45, 50, 60 recs. It does not.
Because then you're an admin.
Yeah, because you're sacrificing quality, I think, just to oversee process and with that higher rec load. And candidate experience is typically the first thing to hit the door. So
I could go on about all these questions about Amazon. Like, I'm so curious what the intake meetings are at Amazon. But anyway, we can talk about what's it like. What I wanted to mention is that you are going to be our co-host for LAX Tech Recruit in July. So yay!
I'm so amped. I'm pumped. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward to it as well. You participated in our last event at UC Irvine, and you moderated a panel with Dean DaCosta and Hire Tool and Derek Zeller. And when we put all those together, it turned out you guys were actually really good friends. And for me, when I'm putting a conference together, having people who have that camaraderie on the stage is huge. So was that a lot of fun?
Yeah, it was totally a lot of fun. And I had known Derek and Dean for a while. And I had known Dan Larson from Hire Tool. He came out as well. I'd known him online, but actually hadn't met him until in real life until that conference. So that was great to see old friends, but also meet new people at the same time. And it was great. Dan's a stand-up guy, so he's pretty cool.
Dan did a really great job too.
He did.
I mean, it was kind of like that last minute when he came in, so I wasn't sure what to expect, and he nailed it.
I'm not sure he knew what to expect either to a certain extent, but no, he did great. He came in and nailed it.
So one of the kind of bigger topics I wanted to discuss with you was trends in talent acquisition that maybe you see. And I think when you're working at a big company, you kind of have to be tuned into what's going on around you. But not that this is new to you, because I know you've been in the industry for so long. I mean, you're recognized, and you kind of got your ear to what's going on as far as like going to different conferences and trends. But maybe what are some of the things that you're seeing?
Easiest one to pick off here would be everything, all the conversation and all the topics about AI and machine learning, and which are two totally different things, but how they're going to be impacting TA as a whole as an industry. And we talked, I think Derek talked about this a little bit in his session at the last TechRecruit, but just about how much of an impact. We know that there will be impact. There will be, some processes effective with AI. But in my opinion, that's not something that we are even close to doing as far as on an automation level to be able to have have the candidate experience include all these different versions and layers of chatbots, and whether it's from the application process to the interview process. And it's extreme. I just don't really see the threat, I guess, so to speak, of the talk out there about anyone's livelihoods being threatened or replaced or anything like that. It seems, I just don't think it's going to happen. There is everything from realistic expectations on the back end with recruiters in terms of rec load, like we're talking about, to doing the best job you can, providing a great candidate experience, and what that means, what that entails. That is something I think is cool, because that has been really constantly changing and evolving to the candidate's benefit. In my opinion, being able to see that evolution of processes get better for the candidate, and how employers really shouldn't ever feel satisfied really with their candidate experience. If they think it's great, well, then let's make it greater. Let's make it better. What can we always do to constantly improve? So that's going to be, and that's a benefit for the candidate. It's a benefit for their brand. It's a benefit for any internal initiatives. So it's just a win-win all around as far as improving that. So between candidate experience, back-end recruiter issues, and the whole AI thing, those are just a few things that I'm seeing out there a little bit.
I like it. On that same note, I feel like one of the first times I spoke with you, we had talked a little bit about that candidate experience, and I mean, it's basically accountability. The recruitment and talent acquisition having accountability for how they treat candidates, but also how they move them through the process and how they come out the other end. And I mean, because you speak with a candidate, and then if it doesn't work out, we all know 5 years later, they're still in your database, and then they have all this experience. I've placed candidates like that at Universal Music Group. I placed a .NET developer, and then 5 years later, we placed them again at Green Dot. And I mean, it's just like one of these things that you see this full cycle of this candidate. It's like, hey, how's it going? So that nurturing and like really understanding where they want to be is so key. So in that vein of accountability, I think that training recruitment is essential to that. And I don't know how many times myself I've gotten on LinkedIn, I've gotten emails from people, or in-mails from people saying, hey, you'd be perfect for the software engineering position. You hear that a lot,
Yeah.
and I think it upsets technology professionals or professionals in general. But I mean, you just got to understand, these are rookie recruiters. It really is about training and having confidence in what it is that you're doing, so you can be accountable to the process that you're providing to people. One of the things I feel that we're doing with LAX Tech Recruit is just that. It's that live training, but it's also what you indicated to me before. You had never seen, when you first started recruitment, recruiters come together and share what they know. And
Yeah.
I was of the same thought process. I always felt that other recruiters who were doing really good, or they're in different agencies or different companies, they didn't want to connect, and they didn't want to share their knowledge. And either that's totally changed, or we're in a new world, or what do you think it is?
Well, and that's, yeah, when I first, started out, that's one of the biggest things I noticed was just how open everybody was to sharing. And I haven't seen anything other than that from my experience in the industry. So for me to think that there was a time where everyone was so siloed and so possessive and so, closed off to networking or to sharing information and knowledge, I can't wrap my brain around that, because all I've seen and experienced is the exact opposite. So, but that really, to me, that was a pivotal thing for me to experience, to be able to see it firsthand, and also be able to do in my own way, to do the best job I can to duplicate that, and to be able to pay it forward, and to be able to contribute where I can, and to have conversations, and to have networking opportunities and stuff. So I think it's amazing. I think as a whole, our industry still has a lot to learn, especially when it comes to candidate engagement, candidate outreach, messaging, getting away from the whole spamming, post and pray, all those kind of things with our recs that we do. I think it's a constant challenge to fight those negative stereotypes that you see typical headhunter recruiters do, when it comes to candidate engagement, or just how we treat each other. So I think we've come a long way as an industry. I'll definitely say that from what I've seen, but I still think there's plenty of work to do, and there's really a lot of things we can improve on, I think, as a whole. I think anyone you talk to in the industry would agree with that. But
Yeah.
but no, I'm positive. It's exciting for the future, I think, as an industry. I think that as long as we keep striving and growing, we're just going to keep getting better.
And so in that effort, in that goal to elevate recruitment together, where people aren't sending those rookie in-mails to each other, and we're not saying, hey, I don't connect with other recruiters, but helping elevate each other, sharing ideas, sharing what tools we like that we use. And so that's what the initial idea was behind LAX Tech Recruit, is getting recruitment professionals together to share innovative tactics and strategies and ideas. And we asked you to co-host with us because you believe in this mission. And so you and I are going to be developing a curriculum, right, together.
Yeah.
And we have already lined up some amazing speakers, and we still are about 6 months out and before the conference. So we have this opportunity to develop this curriculum where people can come and learn for a day, and not big ideas or fluff, but tangible things that they can take back to their desk that day and implement right away. So I know we talked about strategies, or we talked about trends, but at the conference itself, are there any ideas that maybe you would like to see people trained on, that you think need training on?
Taking a deeper dive into more, the core basics of best practices when it comes to outreach and engagement, when it comes to cadence, when it comes to content.
Yeah.
That's just the one half. The other half of that, I think, would definitely be on the job description front, being able to make sure that your recs are as accurate and transparent as possible, but without all the fluff and all the typical cliche crap that we see. There's definitely room for improvement there, I think, with the kind of recs that we are selling to candidates and how those are written, how those are crafted and created, and how, and from what I've seen in most cases, kind of off-brand that they become in relation to your organization that you're with. So that's a reflection of your organization. So, those are two things right there that I would love to have people be exposed to, take a deeper journey on in terms of best practices for that. And again, in the overall effort and the overall motivation to have that self-improvement and to be able to have as an industry and individually too.
You know, sometimes I will see job descriptions, and I think you nailed it just with that cliche, where you see something cliche in the job description and you just go, and my friend Lou Adler, our friend Lou Adler, who I absolutely adore, you know, he has the performance-based hiring product, and he constantly talks about how it's not a job description, but the job description should be about what it is that person is going to be doing, what they're going to be achieving in the first month, the first 6 months, a year. And there was one company I saw just nail this so well, and I read their job description, and I forget what it was, but it was just that. The first month you're going to be doing this in 6 months you'll be doing that. It was fantastically done, and none of the cliches. So I was really impressed with that.
I've tried to tweak and modify either under the radar or where I can to help get rid of all the common cliche stuff. It's about the sell. It's about how you approach it, but you also need to be as realistic as possible. Like you said, in terms of expectations, this is the set of skills we need to do the job for someone to come in and do the job to have. And this is the, like you said, this is the layout, this is the roadmap of what your progress will look like as far as what the expectations will be at these benchmarks. It's just interesting. I mean, every organization's different. They'll have different cultures. They'll have different experiences that they draw from when it goes to putting in those job descriptions. So it's definitely worth the time to explore and to improve on, without a doubt.
Well, with our mission of educating the world, David, we will turn this around together.
Yes, that's our goal.
I'm really excited about putting this conference together. Our theme is going to be data analytics, people analytics. And the idea behind that, I come from a data analyst background. I have a degree in financial analysis, and that's what I cut my teeth in my career when out of college. And there's, for me, always kind of been this, I've always been very passionate about data, and to see this evolution of recruitment going towards this data science model has been really exciting for me. That's where we came with the data science and people analytics, and we have some great speakers.
Definitely, absolutely, without a doubt. And we're just getting started, I think, as well. So just for this conference, but also down the road in the future. So we got a lot of work to do, but I think we're off to a good start, and I'm stoked. I'm super excited.
Yay! Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's good. Thank you so much for being on TechRecruit's first podcast. We really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
I think that went okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right? I think it flowed. I mean, if there's anything that's weird, we can edit it out, No,
it was pretty natural. I thought that was fine. So.
I mean, look at the backdrop. I mean, and that for my album cover, my mom made that of me like 5 years ago.
So that drawing? Drawing? Is it that drawing?
Yeah, that drawing.
Yeah, that's cool. That was pretty cool.
You thought it was okay? Or?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean,
detectives,
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're the face of the whole conference. So this has all been driven by you, and people are coming up and taking their seat on the bus as we go. So you're driving the bus, and we're just we're hopping on board.